Metroid Prime Federation Force is a Metroid title I heard nothing but bad things about since its release in 2016. Even though I bought the game at release, I never played it as a result of the negativity surrounding it. After completing an initial playthrough of the game for this review, not playing it sooner is a decision I regret. Federation Force offers players a unique co-op experience and expands upon the franchise's lore. While it certainly fails to be a traditional Metroid experience, it is a fun concept that I hope gets explored again in the future. With the destruction of Phazon, the space pirate threat to the galaxy has been reduced. To finally eliminate them for good, the Galactic Federation begins Operation Golem and designs a new series of combat mechs manned by skilled pilots to confront the threat head-on. The newly established Federation force begins its mission in the Bermuda system, where things quickly take a turn for the worse as a new space pirate scheme threatens the Federation like never before. The story of Metroid Prime Federation Force lets players experience the Metroid universe through the eyes of a Galactic Federation Marine pilot. The plot isn't incredibly deep, but it does a good job of keeping you invested over the game's modest runtime. The story is delivered to players through mission briefings and debriefs for each level, with an occasional cutscene to highlight level events. None of the story content is voiced, and like other Prime titles, players can find additional lore by exploring each level to access terminals. Metroid Prime Federation Force is a traditional first-person shooter with emphasis on co-op play. The game is completely playable solo, which is how I experienced it for this review, but the co-op focus is present in many of the game's 22 levels. As a solo experience, Federation Force does a decent job of being challenging but not outright unfair. At times, completing objectives can be annoying due to the lack of other players, but thankfully those moments are a minority, and for most of the experience you can easily enjoy the combat loop. Controls for Federation Force are straightforward, with twin stick or motion aiming options available depending on your 3DS system. I have never been fond of motion aiming, especially on a handheld where using it tilts the screen away from your eyes. It works okay, but twin stick mode was a more enjoyable experience, making a Circle Pad Pro or new 3DS system a must to get the best feel out of the game. While in twin stick mode, players can use either face or shoulder buttons to activate the rest of the game's options of jumping, firing, and using auxiliary weapons. A lock-on mechanic is present that helps keep track of faster-moving enemies and provides an easier way to line up more precise shots to deliver the most damage possible. I appreciate that while this mechanic is present, you can still deal with many enemies without it to more easily sweep over an area. Lock-on also provides the benefit of bringing up an enemy's health bar so you can see exactly how much more damage you need to deliver. The D-pad activates a series of selectable voice lines to use in co-op play, which rounds out the controls. Players pilot the new Federation mech, which provides a few similarities to controlling Samus and other Prime titles. You can charge your main weapon from the start of the game, which allows it to deliver powerful hits on enemies. While locked on, you can easily side dodge with a tap of your jump button. Unfortunately, there is no alternate form like the Morph Ball, which I think would have been cool. The mech has an okay movement speed and a hover ability to help its overall mobility. It is meant to be more lumbering than controlling Samus, and it does a decent job of portraying this in a way that doesn't become irritating. I would be lying if I didn't say I wish it moved faster at times, though. At the beginning of each mission, you can select a series of auxiliary weapons and items to arm your mech with. Numerous weapons are available, from standard missiles to elemental attacks. Healing and defensive items are also present that could come in handy in a pinch. A few fun options have been added, like shooting out a decoy that looks like Samus to distract space pirates. The amount you could carry is based on a weight limit that can be increased by reaching certain milestones or equipping mods to your mech. Each weapon and item has a different weight, and by the final missions you can equip a nice diversity to mess with. During missions, destructible boxes will contain different weapon and item pickups for you to replenish any you have used up to that point. Mods are an interesting aspect of Federation Force. Mods are hidden in levels to collect and act as the game's expansion tanks when compared to other Metroid titles. You start the game with one slot available and unlock 2 additional slots as you progress. Mods can provide many benefits, to increasing damage for certain weapons or taking less damage from incoming fire, to providing a full heal if you happen to die. For solo players, the game gives you a mod that doubles your damage output while having incoming damage. Since the game is designed around 4-player co-op, this addition makes a huge difference in the solo experience, and I think solo play would not be feasible without it. When in co-op, this mod is unavailable, making team coordination more necessary to take on the game's larger enemies. If you fail a mission, there is a chance one of your equipped mods can break, making it unavailable if you don't have another one in your inventory. Throughout the game's 22 levels, you will explore 3 different planets that provide a unique look and feel. Enemy variety across all 3 is fairly similar, with many basic enemies being a simple reskin of what is found in one of the other areas. Space pirates become a constant threat as you progress, and you get a nice assortment to deal with from basic troops to lumbering brutes. Each has unique attributes, and once the stronger variants come into play, making the most of exploiting weak spots becomes even more important. Considering you are supposed to be in a huge mech, these are much bigger pirate variants than those found in previous Metroid titles. As a result, I am glad that the game gave a reason for why they are so large. Federation Force also features several boss fights to overcome. I enjoyed the selection as I made my way through the game. Taking on massive wildlife in various stages never gets old, but the space pirate offerings are severely lacking. The numerous installations were also an interesting inclusion, but I didn't mind them. The final encounters of the game are extremely disappointing from both a gameplay and storytelling perspective. I will agree with the hate on a brainwashed Samus being quite dumb from a lore perspective. If her fight had at least been more interesting, perhaps I could have overlooked this, but yeah, keep rollin', Samus, I guess. The final encounter with the Master Brain was likewise incredibly underwhelming, and one of the easiest fights in the whole franchise. Audio work is good throughout Federation Force. Sound effects are nice and crisp on the 3DS hardware. Music, while never quite catching, sounds great and accompanies the on-screen moments well. Players can also select different voices and languages for their in-game interactions, which is a great touch for the co-op experience. I will easily say I hate the art style used for Federation Force. The game adopts a chibi look that destroys any sense of scale between the environments, characters, and enemies. Characters and enemies have goofy looking proportions, and Samus looks incredibly stupid anytime she makes an appearance. Environments look nice at least, and there is a good amount of animations present across the title. The 3D aspect does add a nice sense of depth if you like to use the feature. Just make sure you use twin stick aiming, otherwise it will be completely unusable. I think the biggest downfall for Metroid Prime Federation Force is players' expectations. Metroid implies a certain playstyle, which Federation Force doesn't use. Instead, this plays like a traditional shooter. While not a bad thing, better representing the game as the side story that it is could have gone a long way to improving its perception. That being said, other choices could have helped make the game better. First, get rid of the chibi nonsense. I know art styles shouldn't make or break a game, but this one is quite ugly and doesn't fit the tone of the game. The included paint schemes are also underwhelming, and Minnie being locked to Amiibo is incredibly irritating. I greatly dislike the pirate gunship fight from a solo playing perspective, as it is horribly balanced for such play. The Samus fight is also poorly handled and doesn't fit well into the established lore. Inconsistencies on what can one-hit kill you can also be a bit frustrating at times. Out-of-mech sequences are not incredibly enjoyable, but thankfully they didn't overuse this form of gameplay. Levels are also incredibly linear overall. Metroid Prime Federation Force has an incredible amount of replay value for a Metroid title. Thanks to its inclusion of a scoring system, you can replay levels several times to unlock all 3 of their available medals. Co-op play is still available locally, and some of these levels would be an absolute blast to play with friends. But on top of the story content, Metroid Prime Federation Force includes a 3 vs 3 Blast Ball mode that gives off Rocket League vibes. While not something that interests me much, it is a cool addition and one I hope they explore again in the future. While Metroid Prime Federation Force is a terrible Metroid title for fans looking to get a traditional experience, it is an enjoyable shooter. Getting to see more of the Metroid universe is also a ton of fun for me. While I enjoyed my time with the game in its solo mode, getting to play this in co-op would have made it so much better. I wish I had ignored the internet hate back when this was released and experienced the online play system with friends. At least local play is still an option, and I look forward to trying it out with friends and family someday. Man, I really cannot believe that I listened to internet hate for so long before finally diving into Metroid Prime Federation Force. Seriously, if you are a fan of co-op first-person shooters like this one, is definitely worth checking out. While not incredibly long, there is quite a bit of replay value here if you want to unlock everything that the game has to offer. There's plenty of bonus objectives that can be quite challenging, and again, some of these missions are just going to be so much fun when I try them with 4 people. I'm really excited about that. I'm definitely going to be digging into this one more for its multiplayer aspects in the future. But even for this single player playthrough, I just really enjoyed myself. Not the best Metroid title, obviously, because it's not really a Metroid title, but still very enjoyable game, and honestly, it is worth giving a shot. But thank you for making it to the end of today's review of Metroid Prime Federation Force. I hope you have found this interesting, I guess, but I do appreciate anyone spending even a moment of time on this channel. But here at the end, just the usual favors to ask if you haven't already. Thumbs up, thumbs down, depending on how much you like this one, as well as hitting that sub button and notification bell so you can see when new videos go live on the channel. Loads always coming your way, and I'd love to have each and every one of you along for the ride. And for anyone that is further interested in helping support the channel to keep it flowing and going and all that good jazz, be sure to hit that join button here on YouTube or the Patreon link in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Every little bit helps, and you get to decide these weekly retro reviews for us. Big shout out to all of our current backers. Couldn't do it without you. You're incredible. Thank you as always. But until next time, my wonderful internet peeps, y'all stay awesome, keep on gaming, and we'll see you all back next video.